The
You
fun,
know?
the funny thing is, I remember sitting in on a meeting with you and Egyptian and Ivor, who is his manager, on that
Right.
particular song. And Egyptian was saying, "Say, boy, him don't know if him want that song to go out there." And you were like, "Trust me, this song I gonna run the place, man. I give it to Johnny Wonder already." I gotta say,
Yeah.
big up to
I
Johnny Wonder
believed in
too.
the song. When Egyptian first recorded the song, he left the studio
Yeah,
and never turned back and never even asked for the song on the CD.
right,
I sat down in my studio. Every time I went into the studio to work, I would sit down at the end of the night, every time I was finished doing a session, and listen to that song for approximately 20 minutes.
right,
Because I saw the vision. I saw this record being a big island record in the Bahamas, in Bermuda, in Virgin Islands, in Guyana, and you know wherever those small islands are. You know, I saw it being a big hit over into these places. You know, Egyptian didn't see it. Egyptian, you know, told me that he recorded the record for another producer. That's why he wasn't interested in putting out the record. Period.
right.
And the way how he sung it on the other rhythm, you know, and the way how he done the song was totally like just left lane to what he did on my rhythm.
Right.
And you know, I reached out to Johnny Wonder. I got him over the track, and you know, he started sending it out worldwide to all the DJs that he had on his own blast, and the record took off like that. It wasn't any record label. It wasn't anybody. It wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with anybody else.
So this was
You know,
so this was just a pure hit. It just happened on its own merit.
it happened on
It,
its own merit, and you know, Egyptian and his former manager Peter was going through some differences where Peter just started to do a whole bunch of, you know, not so nice things. And
right.
one of the things was bringing in the record to VP Records as it was his production.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But the streets and everyone knew this truth already. Everyone knew, you know, when the email blast was sent to them, whose name was there. Everyone knew who was pushing this record, you know, who was, you know, giving out the record and taking it to that height.
well,
So
what one of
at
the
the end of the
thing,
day, yeah,
but one of the thing I've seen happen. I mean, you look at somebody like Dre, Dr. Dre, who was with Easy E. Easy E messed him up, and he came back bigger and better with Death Row. Then Suge Knight messed him up, and he came back bigger and better with his new label. What's his new label? Aftermath.
Aftermath.
And he brought us Eminem, who brought us 50 Cent. So it seemed that because at the end of the day, no matter how you try thief and rob or try to, um, what's the word, usurp other people's things, your talent is going to speak louder than any lie.
Louder than anything.
And I think one of the things you did was that you went on the same track and created a hit on the same track to show that it wasn't a fluke. It had a lot.
Yeah,
It because
that
Dave,
was that. This track was mainly a statement.
right,
Sorry to cut you, but this track was mainly, um, it became into a statement. You know, I mean, it didn't get as far as the Egyptian record did. Why? Because you know we kind of underestimated the record because it was just something to put out at the moment, and it became something bigger than we expected,
right,
and we accepted it. You know, and you know that was just to show people like, you know, this is not just a thing where you know it's the artist being lucky.
okay,
You know, it's the artist that made the producer's rhythm, or whatever case may be. In this case, it will never ever from my standpoint, it will
yeah,
never ever be something where the artist shines light on me as the producer. It's
right,
always going to be the producer shines light and give the artist the level of respect or the level of success that they get
right.
due to
Listen,
the creation.
this is a bit unusual what I want to do because I don't have a lot of time and
Right,
it's a good conversation and I hate when I have to like wrap up certain things fast. So before we
right.
even continue the conversation, let us just ask the people if they want to find out more about Ricky Blaze, where can they go?
Well, they definitely can check out my website. My name is rickyblaze.com. You know, that website is just mainly about, you know, just the shows I've been doing. You know, I have like blog videos, showing you me on the streets, like me on the road, going to shows, and just kind of entering my life,
Um,
and giving people an understanding, because a lot of people probably think that I'm just this little cocky kid running around producing one and two songs, and that's it. People don't know the in depths of my life and my story.
and what you have coming out, because these are things I usually talk about at the end of the show, but I just want to get this in before we go back to the conversation.
Right.
So, and as far as your records coming out now, what do you have coming out? What should people look forward to now? Like, what they can go, I know, so boy, Monday they can go out and find this. What record company, what songs, so forth.
Well, I have my EP coming out called My Name is Ricky Blaze in November under Atlantic Records. That's coming out. So, we're just basically just working on that and just, getting that ready for November. And that's about it for now.
Okay. I remember one night in the studio, you said, boy, the more you come work in some bigger studios, you said, boy, you don't want to go up there and go get caught up on. You like your little box, and that's where your energy flowing from for make,
Yeah.
to make the hits.
Yeah.
And I just kind of start laughing when you said that, because not a lot of people would be as honest as you were, and they would allow ego to overcome. It's like, no, I want a bigger bit, I want a top of the line this and a top of the line of that. But
I'm totally good with the studio that I have. My studio is like the size of a bathroom or a little bit bigger, and just the creation
yeah,
that's there. And I think having a studio like that anywhere I'm at, I just want a small box like that, just to give me the vibe of the hunger. And the hunger brings more creation. When you're comfortable, you got millions of dollars just sitting in this big studio, that you can go lie down in Studio B, because it has a couch and a flat screen. Like, you're too comfortable, and that gives you a writer's block or like a producer's block where you can't create, because it's just like, you're just comfortable, too comfortable. It has to be a little edgy, where it allows you to just feel uncomfortable, to feel like, yes, I'm doing hard work. No air conditioner or no heat. Let it be cold down there.
right.
Or let it be hot, where you're sweating profusely and just creating records.
So you're saying that when as far as music is concerned, you want to stay hungry for the music. You want to stay
I
hungry.
want to,
Okay.
and I will always stay hungry for the music, because the things that make me stay hungry for music, like if I get $1 million today, it doesn't stop. That doesn't mean that, okay, I'm comfortable, I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini, a house, and I'm done. Like, you're not gonna see me in the studio till 2 weeks. No, I'm gonna be in the studio even more now, because I need to make a couple more millions to add on top of that. It's not
Right.
gonna be just it's not gonna be just right there
Okay.
where I want to stop it.
But how you feel, right? Because right now in Jamaica, right? The music is kind of shifting. The sound of the music is shifting to what I don't really know. I've heard people saying that this new music that's emerging is not dancehall. It's closer to hip hop. Some people calling it one beat. I hear Wayne Marshall talking about island pop. Everybody hyping up what's his name, Steven the Genius McGregor. I don't know how the genius part get in there, but and hear you from Out of the Blues, right? Well, not from Out of the Blues, because you have been making hits from before, but again, it's like people just never recognize that. Listen, here's this kid in New York bubbling like a volcano, and everybody's still looking at Jamaica at some music that not even all them the farthest those music could have go was Passa Passa. It never got to the roundabout at Harborview. It could even get a visa to go on the plane, and
Right.
you come in America and go so, and you drop something and it blew up the world, and everybody talking about it. You understand? All around the world, everybody talking about Hold You, everybody talking about Just You and I. You understand? But
Right.
this other music coming out of Jamaica, everybody talk about Sheldon, Sell Off, Mad. But I never see it selling off. I never see it. The only thing it shell down was Passa Passa. But as it got to Harborview roundabout, the policeman put up a man and said, turn back. You understand?
Yeah.
And, these people getting some hundreds of thousands of dollars publishing deal, production deal, and all these things. And I'm like, the music is not selling. And you
Right.
come and you show them how to sell music. You show them how to make music that can still be defined as dancehall, but it also crossing over into a wider audience. And
Right.
you're not on the hype. You're not on the, you know, how do you explain to the other people out there now wanting to do production and even the people in the business, what would you tell them to do now in order to find a hit song?
Well, all right. A lot of producers, when they get a couple of hits, their ego and the people around them influence them
But
to the music that they make.
them not getting hits. They're not getting hits. If you have a
They're
hit,
not getting hits because the whole ego thing is just basically every time they make something, it's nobody to criticize. And a lot of these producers are not fans of music. They're just creating.
so them just running down a hype. Then them don't love music.
They're just running down on the hype.
Right.
They are just creating records. They're going in the studio. They're tapping the drum machine. You know, okay, that little drum pattern sounds good. They're adding a couple of keys, and then the rhythm is done. And then they call Movado, whoever they call, and then these people voice on these rhythms, and they put it out tomorrow, and it's just out there. You know, with no influence, no nothing. It's just, yeah, that's the sound.
And
That's not the sound.
right,
You know, it's about being a fan of music. It's about knowing where you're coming from to know where you're going.
right,
And people don't respect music on that level anymore.
right,
It's just everybody wants to do this, but no one understands the depths of music anymore.
right.
Like, Hold You was a track. Like, you know, I have tons of tracks like that on my computer, you know, that I create because I respect the island vibe. Ace of Base, you know, that's one of my favorite groups. UB40, that's like one of my favorite groups, you know, and you know, I respect what these guys done for music, and you know, they took it to another level. They mixed the reggae trippy flow, you know, of creating rhythms. The how would I say this? Like, they took the reggae. How could I say this? They just took, like, you know, the reggae style and made it into something comfortable for them,
Right.
you know, and bring it, like, you know, because these are white people, you know, and, you know, they were signed to major labels, so they had the opportunity to take these records to pop or wherever, and they took these records, you know, they made it into their own style, and that is what made me started to create rhythms with those kind of influence in it, because I love reggae music, and, you know, but I know that I have the ability, and me living in America gives me the opportunity to take my music way further than a lot of less fortunate producers and artists.
Um,